Welcome to Radiant Heart Yoga. My name is Jane and today we're going to be doing frog pose, Mandukasana, one of the versions of frog pose. So it's a lovely opening for the inner leg lines and the ankles and the hips. So that's where we're going to be focused on. We're staying quite low to the ground, so it's a very grounding practice as well. So you're going to begin by lying down on your back. Oh, and you're probably going to need a blanket or something. It can be a jumper or anything that will slide on the floor. If you've got carpet, if you practice on carpet, you'll be okay. You won't need that. So from here, you're going to lie down on your back and bring the soles of your feet together. And then I like to just rest my hands on my inner thighs, but you can have your hands on your belly, whatever feels the right thing for you to do at the beginning of your practice to connect with your breath and to connect with how your body's feeling. What is your baseline? Where are you starting your practice from today? And I've not done this, but if you use bricks in your practice, if your hips are not that open yet, you can just slide a couple of bricks underneath your legs and just let your legs relax more and allow this area to open up more. So you can stay here for as long as you need to stay in order to feel ready to start your practice, or we can begin with our first pose. So our first pose is going to be drawing the knees in towards the armpits. So your knees are wide and your feet are wide, and you're going to gently press the back of your head, your shoulders and your sacrum, the back of your pelvis, into the floor, just setting the natural curves of your spine before we start. And then bring the soles of your feet back together and thread your arms through and hold either the backs of your shins or the backs of your ankles or anywhere in between. And then from here, you're going to push your feet into one another and you can start to press your legs towards the floor. So keeping your shoulders still on the mat, you're going to feel not just a stretch in your inner thighs and your groin, but into your wrists and your arms and your shoulders. And then you're going to bring your knees back in towards your armpits and come into happy baby pose. So in your happy baby pose, you can hold the backs of your thighs if you're not able to reach your feet. And then you're just going to have a little rock side to side. And then come back to centre, and you're going to keep your left leg bent and straighten your right leg, and then keep your right leg bent and straighten your left leg. And you're just going to alternate side to side. And from here, you're going to bring your feet up towards the ceiling, bring your fingertips onto your mat, use your elbows and your shoulders, and as you inhale, you're going to lift your hips and rock up. So you're lifting your hips up, and then as you exhale, bring the soles of your feet back together and press your legs towards the floor. Don't let them come all the way to the floor. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, release down. Inhale, lift up, exhale. One more now. And then you're going to bring the soles of your feet to face forwards and turn your feet out and keep your knees stacking over your hips. So this is the position of your legs in frog pose. So you're going to interlace your fingers, steeple your index fingers, big breath in, so a little bit of core work. Exhale, pull your navel down towards the floor, lift your head and shoulders. And then from here, little pulses. Seeing if you can exhale on the lift, on the reach, And then for the last few, can you lift your hips as well? So reach forward, lift your hips, lift your hips, lift your hips, lift your hips. So now we're just getting into the lower abdominals as well. Brilliant. And then fingertips down, lift your legs. One lift, feet together and rocking up. Fantastic. So from here, you're going to keep the soles of your feet together, and you can slide bricks underneath them underneath your legs if you need to. And then from here you're going to twist to the right, putting your left hand on your right leg, twisting here. And then as you turn back to the front, you're going to thread your right arm under, and if you can stay holding on to your knees, great. If you need to slide your hands a little bit further down your shins like I do, you're going to make sure you sat on your sit bones. Inhale, pull on your legs as you press your legs down. So you're pushing your heels in towards one another and folding in. Again, holding out your belly, lengthen your tailbone, anchoring down through your sit bones. Stretching out your lower back of your pelvis. And then as you inhale, you can hug opposite shoulders, or you can come into an eagle bind. So this left hand's going to wrap around again. You're still dropping your legs towards the floor. Inhale, lift, 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 and push your elbows forwards and move that stretch into your upper back. And then from here, bring this right hand back behind you, leaning into it. Come onto the sole of your left foot and lift this left hip up off the floor. So you can lift this left arm and you can stay here, or you can make it a little bit more of a stretch for the front of your hips by lifting your hips up and coming onto the ball of your left foot. So you've still got that opening. So legs nice and wide, and lift your hips up. And then slowly lower down, and you're going to come all the way back down, come back to your happy baby, have a little rock side to side. And then you're going to bring the soles of your feet together and reach your fingertips forwards and up. And then from here, little reaches forwards. And then lifting your legs up, we're going to lift up. So you're going to inhale up, exhale, soles of your feet back together, lowering your legs towards the floor. Now come up and exhale back down. Up and back down. And then on this next one, you're going to rock all the way up. Bring the soles of your feet together if they came apart. And this time you're going to twist to the left. So you're going to bring your left fingertips behind, right hand onto your left thigh, pushing your heels together, pressing your knees out towards the sides and twisting. Stay with your breath. And then hook or thread your left arm underneath. So now you've got the opposite elbow on top. And then pulling a little bit on your legs, but then you're pressing them down as you fold in. Just feeling that opening, maybe walking your sit bones back a little bit more, pushing into your heels, pressing your knees out to the side, trying to keep your spine as long as you can. And then inhale, come up. Same again, either hold your opposite shoulders or now hooking your elbows. It's your right hand that twists around again. And then from here, lift your elbows up, press your elbows forwards and move that stretch into your upper back. And then from here, going to take this left hand behind, lean into it, bring your right foot to the floor and let your left leg come to the floor. And then reach this right arm up, and you can stay here, or you can lift your hips up, press your hips up towards the ceiling, maybe even come onto the ball of that right foot as you arc open. And then slowly lowering back down. And then from here, you're going to take your feet a little bit wider, maybe just on the edge of your mat. Bring them in, and then from here, you're going to bring your fingertips together and hook your elbows into your inner thighs and press your inner thighs back. Big opening here. And then you're going to cross your ankles, come onto all fours, so however you get onto all fours is fine. And then once you're here, you're going to inhale, reach your right leg back, and exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest, and then inhale, take it out to the side, flexing your foot to the back, and then exhale, coil it in. 3 times, we're going to go. Good, and then pulling that leg in, taking it out to the side, little pulses up towards the ceiling. Pulse and pulse, pulse, pulse. We're going for 10. So 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Stretch that leg out. And then from here, you're going to line up your big toe with the front of your knee. And you're just going to walk your hands forwards, keeping your hips over your knee, and then folding into a little bit of a back bend. So it's a shoulder stretch, but you're also getting into the inner seam on this right leg. And then walking your hands back, and you're going to turn this right foot out and slide your leg in. Coming up, so doing a little baby warrior 2. And then bring your right elbow and press it into this right thigh. And sweep your left arm alongside your ear. So you're going to push this left knee down to the floor and reach your left fingertips as far away from it as you can, and you're pushing this knee back. So this will be your exhale, and then you're going to inhale, cartwheel your arms over, either left hand to your hip or slide it down that left leg and arc your right arm over. Inhale, cartwheel over, exhale, inhale, and exhale. Last one. Inhale and exhale. And then from here, you're going to step this right foot forwards, and you're going to turn that right foot out to the right. So you're still trying to stack this left hip over your knee, and you're going to stay here. If you want to use bricks and lift your hands up a little bit more to make it more accessible, you can do that. And you're either going to stay here or bending your elbows and folding over that leg. But you can see this frog leg foot just opening up all around the lower part of the leg. And then calming back and back to all fours. So I'm just going to turn around because I've got this tapestry at the back of me and it doesn't really let me stick my leg out very far. So from here, going to inhale, take your left leg back, and exhale, pull it in. And then inhale, take it out to the side, to the back, and exhale, pull it in. And all the time that you're doing this, you're pushing the floor away with your hands. And then this next time, keep the leg out to the side, little pulses up towards the ceiling. 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. Straighten that left leg out, line your big toe up with your knee, keep your hip over your knee, and then stretch that left leg even, as far out as you can, and then walk your hands forwards. Lift your sit bones up, hug your arms in towards one another, and then draw your forehead down, maybe even lowering your chest and chin towards the floor. And then you're going to inhale, come back up, turn your left foot out to the left, just draw it back in, and then left elbow into your left thigh, push it away and reach your right arm alongside your ear. So on your next exhale, just go a little bit deeper, and then inhale, cartwheel your arms over and press this left arm alongside your ear. And then inhale, cartwheel your arms over, exhale here, inhale up and exhale over. Last time. Exhale, really press that thigh back, inhale and exhale. And then from here, going to bring this left foot forwards, use your bricks if you need to, and then turn that left foot out to the left. And for me, this is a lot more challenging on this side to have this foot in this position, so I'm not going to fold deeply into it, but keep pressing your sit bones back, drawing your chest forwards, and just keep turning that leg out and getting all this lower part of the leg and the ankle and the foot used to this position. And then from here, you're going to slide your knees back, walk your hands forwards and lifting your hips up and back into downward facing dog. So pedaling out your legs. And then inhale, lift your right leg up, bending your knee, opening up your hip. And then exhale, draw that knee in. Inhale, roll the hip open. Exhale, draw the knee in. One more, inhale, roll the hip open. Exhale, draw the knee in. And then from here, you're going to step your right foot forwards and your left foot. And you're going to come into Malasana. So you're going to, just like you did when you were sat down, but you've got you're on your feet now, and pressing your legs back with your elbows. And then bring your fingertips to the floor, step your left foot back and turn your feet to face your long edge of your mat. Okay. So from here, you're going to turn your heels in, your toes out, and press yourself up into Aspatasana, into this wide legged stance. Shins are vertical and knees are tracking out in line with your feet. Tailbone is moving down, inner thighs back, outer thighs forwards. And then from here, going to bring your hands onto your legs. Inhale in the center here. And then exhale, bring your left shoulder towards your right. And as I do this, I'm pushing my inner thighs back. Inhale, come up. And exhale, press to the left. Inhale up. And exhale right. Inhale up. And exhale left. One more. Exhale. Inhale up. And exhale. And then inhale up, rest your right elbow into your thigh like you did before, and sweep your left arm alongside your ear. And then sweep this left arm across as you inhale, and exhale, right arm sweeps. Inhale and exhale. Last time, inhale and exhale. Bring your fingertips to the floor, straightening your legs and just bringing your heels in a little bit, and then widening your stance as much as you need to. And from here, you're going to bend your left knee and keep your right leg straight. And then inhale up and over to the other side, left leg straight. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Really pressing your hips back and down. Good. One more. And then just heel toe your feet a little bit closer. Bring your heels a little bit further in. And then interlace your hands at the back of your skull, your fingers. And then inhale here. And as you exhale, you're going to bring your right elbow down towards your right knee. Circle around. Left elbow towards the left knee. Back up. And again. Go the other way. Left elbow towards the left thigh, facing towards the floor, right elbow to right thigh. And just a couple more times, you're going to really be feeling it in your legs. So we're not just stretching these muscles that we need for our frog pose, we also need to have an equal amount of strengthening. So just one more. And then straightening your legs, turn your feet a little bit pigeon-toed now. Inhale, lift your chest up, and then exhale, hinging from your hips. Bring in your hands, you can have your hands on bricks. And then from here, press your feet into the floor. Let that energy rebound up into your pelvis, lengthening your spine, and then as you exhale, bending your elbows, so hands and elbows shoulder width apart. You can walk your hands back as much as it's okay for you, and then hug your elbows in, lift your sit bones up, lengthening your spine, and then folding, folding in. And then from here, you're going to walk back over this right foot. Walk that foot across to the right. And then step your left foot forwards. So come back into your Mandukasana. Maybe bring the tips of your fingers together and really press your inner thighs back even more. And then bringing your hands down, stepping your right foot back, and then you're going to lift your left leg up into your down dog split. So we're just going to do the same thing on this side. So from here, you're going to draw your left knee in towards your chest, circle it out, open that hip up, big breath in. And then as you exhale, bring your knee in towards your chest. Inhale. Opening that hip up, exhale, bringing it in. One more time, inhale, open it up, and exhale, bring it in. Both feet down, just pedal out your legs, bring a little bit of fluid movement back in, and then slowly lower your knees to the floor. So from here, I'm going to show you frog pose. And I'm going to also show you a modification if this isn't possible in your body yet. And this is what you're going to use the blanket for, or whatever you've got that's slidey. So you're going to put it at the side of you, and then you're going to take your knees as wide apart as you can, and one of your knees is going to be on your sticky mat and the other one is going to be on your slidey fabric. And then your modification, if it's not okay for you to do frog pose yet, is to bring the balls of your feet together and come into a child's pose and just work there. If you can go a little bit deeper, just walking your forearms forwards, and now we're going to come into our frog legs. So you're going to turn your feet into that frog leg position, and you're going to take your feet and your ankles a little bit wider than your knees, just a little bit. And then you're going to start to draw your tailbone back behind you. And with this pose, you're going to stay in it for quite a few breaths. So if you want to make the sensation less, you can rock your hips forwards. If you want the sensation to be a little bit greater and you want to start to get a little bit more opening, you can press your hips back. Keep your legs engaged. You're gently pushing the inside edges of your feet into the floor. And what you're going to do from here is you're going to work at whatever level you can. It might be that as you stay a little bit longer in the pose, this is what the blanket's for, you're able to slide one knee a little bit further. So you've got some control there. You're not going to slide with both legs, and you can decide how deeply you go into it. And the longer you stay in it and the more you can relax into it, can you see what happens? Your body starts to let you in a little bit more and a little bit more. But it's not, most people don't find this pose very comfortable. It's not something that you do a lot. But the longer you can hold it, the more regularly you can do it, especially if you are tight in your inner groin and your inner hip and the inner seam of your leg. It is an amazing pose. It helps to aids in digestion, helps any issues, abdominal issues, and it also stimulates the energy channels for the liver, the kidneys, the spleen and the gallbladder. So there's lots of benefits from doing the pose. And then just one more, maybe little stretch, see if we can go a little bit deeper. And then to come out, to walk your forearms back a little bit, slide the leg in that's on the blanket, and then bring your big toes to touch and just slide back into a wide child's pose as you transition to come out. And then walking yourself up and bringing your knees closer together. And then from here, we're just going to do a couple of counter poses and then relax back into Shavasana. So you're going to come onto your back. And you're going to cross your right thigh over your left. And you're going to pick your knees up or your feet up and hold either your knees or your shins or your feet. But you're going to choose something that allows you to keep your shoulders on the floor. So you don't want your shoulders to be lifting off the floor as you get into this initial shape. So you're going to gently squeeze your inner thighs into one another now as a counter pose. And then from here, lift your head and shoulders and have a little rock side to side. And then lower your head and shoulders down. You're just going to roll your head from one side to the other, releasing any tension in your neck. And then lowering your left foot to the floor. Shift your hips to the right and drop both legs to the left, reaching your right arm out to the right. you're going to let your legs come to the floor and work at relaxing the right shoulder into the floor. And then pressing yourself back to the centre and crossing your left thigh over your right. Picking your feet up, holding your knees or your shins or your feet. And then lift your head and shoulders, squeezing your legs into one another gently, rocking side to side. And then lowering your head and shoulders down, a little sway. Taking your head from one shoulder to the other. And then bring your right foot to the floor, shift your hips to the left and drop both legs to the right. And from here, legs come to the floor, but allow your left shoulder to drop. And then back onto your back. Hug both knees into your chest and just stretch out your lower back and then slowly release. If you need to relax your lower back more before you relax fully into Shavasana, you can keep your knees bent, or you can slide your legs out and settle yourself into your Shavasana. So just let yourself drift downwards, get heavier, become more supported and more open and receptive in the front of your body. Go of your breath, just let your breath be light and easy. And rest. Stay in Shavasana as long as you can, and when you're ready to come out, just draw your knees in, wriggling out your toes a little bit, fingers, and then rolling to your side, right side. When you're ready, pressing yourself up to a seat. So thank you for sharing that practice with me. Watch out for the next video. We're going to add some hamstring opening to that and change it to another pose with a little bit more upper body strength. So just watch out for that. Baby grasshopper is coming next. So any suggestions, any comments, please let me know, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.